Good morning. Good morning. All right. Y'all need another donut. I'm excited to be here and to visit with y'all for just a few minutes about an initiative that we have in the Institute of Agriculture, specifically with UT Extension, focused on addressing our drug abuse problem, our opioid epidemic across our great state. And it's a program that is known as 4-H Health Rocks. And if you're in the back, I'm not sure you can see all these stats, but they are recording it, and I'm glad to share this presentation with you. You all know the statistics. You know what we're facing across our great state. You know some of the challenges that we face. In the 4-H program, of course, we work with young people, ages 9 to 19, in all 95 counties across our state. And just out of curiosity, when you all were growing up, how many of y'all were involved in 4-H in some way? Awesome, thank you. The rest of you can leave the room. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. So what we need to address this issue, what we need to address this epidemic, particularly with our young people, is awareness and education, particularly peer-led, and that's what our program does. And I'll go more in detail in just a few minutes. We also need a quality program that is research-based, it's evidence-based, that we know works with our young people. And then we also need collaboration. We've been talking about that the past, a little over a day. We have so many people across our state doing such great work. Everybody has their niche. Everybody has their focus. And what we do with the 4-H program is reach young people. Tennessee 4-H, we have the largest 4-H club program in the country, which means that we serve more young people in an actual organized club than any other state across the country. And we do that primarily through the school program. We're in roughly about 7,000 classrooms across Tennessee every single month throughout the school year, working with young people, educating them about real life issues, helping them find real life solutions to those issues. So again, 4-H is part of the University of Tennessee Extension. And what we do in Extension is we are the outreach arm of the University of Tennessee. My office, I'm over on the Ag campus, the Institute of Agriculture. And so in the 4-H program, we do outreach. We work with young people, again, in all 95 counties. We serve about 186,000 young people across our great state with the 4-H program. And then the 4-H Health Rocks program is one of those particular pieces that we do that looks at helping young people make healthier choices, helping young people become better educated around the opioid epidemic, around other types of substances, tobacco, alcohol, etc. Again, this is a lot to read, but what we're looking for, what we're doing here, it's an interactive, hands-on approach to help our young people. In fact, over lunch, if you'd like to come learn more about the program, learn more about the curriculum, I've got a piece in the back there. There are 2 levels to it, beginning and intermediate, serving young people from 9 to about 15 years of age. This curriculum is a nationally published curriculum that's used all over the country, and we understand that it has to be hands-on. Young people would not sit well listening in a conference room with lectures and PowerPoints. It needs to be engaging. We need to meet them where they are. So we take this program into elementary schools, into middle schools. We go into community centers and other types of programs where we know that we can reach young people who are in need. And people ask me all the time, they talk about, at-risk young people, and the presenter actually yesterday talked about this. Everybody is at risk. Every young person we serve deals with more issues than my generation ever thought about. Would you agree with that? And so we have to have an innovative way to reach them, to educate them. And we do this through this program, but we do it also through the fact that it's teen and peer-led. So we engage teenagers who work with our county UT staff, who go into classrooms, who go into these community centers and educate these young people, giving them these hands-on approaches. This is a copy of our curriculum. Please know I'm here to educate. I'm not trying to say on anything. I'm not trying to necessarily push this, but I will tell you it does work. And I've got some research to share. And the great thing is that we actually receive grant dollars through our National 4-H Council to implement this program. And I'll give you some of those stats in just a second. The way the curriculum's laid out is it really is an educational piece to educate the young people about, why is this important to me? And then it takes it steps further to show them, now what can I do? I've learned this great information. How can I go out and be a change agent? What can I do to make a difference in my community? This program's been in existence since 2008 in Tennessee, and you can see we've reached over 175,000 young people in 11 years with this program. It's working. We see the results. You'll see some impact data in just a couple of minutes. And the other great thing is we're serving all 95 counties with this program. We award grants to our county 4-H extension offices so they can do the program. And we also have 4-H camps across our state where we're working collaboratively with those camp directors all throughout the summer. When our young people go to 4-H camp and spend a week, they're being exposed to the 4-H Health Rocks program. They're learning and having an opportunity where they are. Everybody still with me? All right, good. Y'all are kind of a tough crowd, I got to be honest. All right. I've heard these folks over here clapping a little bit and applauding, so we're just going to pause. You're not applauding for me. I just want them to know that we're still alive over here. So on the count of 3, I need you to act like your favorite singer, actor, whatever, just walked in the room. If that happens to be me, that's awesome. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Thank you. Next one will beat on the walls and see how they like that. So you can see this is a retrospective impact evaluation, so a post-pre. Again, this data is probably hard to read. I'm more than happy to share with you. The bottom line is we know it's working. We've seen over the past 11 years the data. We've seen that young people have knowledge gains. They're making behavioral changes. We see that this program is working in our schools. It's working in our communities. We see that our young people understand and we believe will long-term make much healthier choices due to a small part of obviously being involved in this program. Just some real quick anecdotal data that I think was great, because sometimes we spend so much time on numbers, we forget about we're working with young people. These are the kinds of everyday changes that they're making, and I'll read just a couple of them. I learned not to do things your friends are doing to be cool, and if they try to get you to do it, they aren't very good friends. You know, out of the mouths of babes, a 9-year-old is able to understand that and take that message home, and I believe that's powerful. Again, just some images of our program. We're serving young people across our state through health fairs. Our extension agents are given the curriculum. They're given dollars to go out and implement the program. They're able to partner. In many of our counties, they're working with coordinated school health. They're working with their county health departments. They're working with law enforcement agencies to have a reach with this program.
Legal or illegal? We got 2 legals and 1 I don't know. Come on, take a pick.
The game is legal or illegal. Name a substance and answer the question. Caffeine, that's legal. Methamphetamines, illegal. Alcohol, depends on the age of the user. And opioids, could be both. The game with a serious message was played at a 4-H meeting at Humboldt's East Elementary, part of Health Rocks, a curriculum focusing on substance abuse. Leading the exercise, teen volunteer C.J. Bryson.
And so by me teaching them these things, they know, hey, that's something that I learned that's not good for me, I shouldn't do it, and stay far away from that.
4-H agents with University of Tennessee and Tennessee State University Extension say peer pressure to try drugs is intense. That's magnified now with so many young people living their lives online.
All this exposure to drugs and alcohol and peer pressure is just at their fingertips. Definitely had an impact on drug and alcohol abuse with this generation.
Which brings us to perhaps the scariest drugs, opioids, and a nationwide epidemic that kills nearly 200 people a day in the U.S. Part of this 4-H meeting was teaching kids the dangers of opioid addiction.
These kids, their parents may have these in the house, and they may think it's candy. I know a lot of them look like M&Ms or different things. So I think it's very important for us to educate them on what it is.
In our state, we see opioids in both urban and rural areas. Here in Gibson County and throughout Northwest Tennessee, local law enforcement sees this problem firsthand. Sheriff Paul Thomas, a former narcotics officer, talked to the 4-H'ers about how opioids destroy lives and tear families apart.
The Oxycontin, the morphine, the codeine, that's our biggest problem right now. But every week we get a half dozen or so that come to my correctional facility that will list themselves as an opiate addict.
There are no easy answers to America's opioid crisis, but greater awareness is a start. We don't want young people to turn to drugs. A generation needs our support to avoid addiction and perhaps a tragic end. This is Charles Denny reporting.
you see one of the examples in Gibson County where we're working with local law enforcement to help address this issue. As I mentioned earlier, we always have opportunity. We serve about 14,000 to 20,000 youth every year with this program. And over the lifetime of the project, we've served about 175,000 youth. We're roughly in about 20 local county programs, but serving statewide programs through our 4-H camp system and setup. So, if you're thinking yourself, I would love to work with Extension, the University of Tennessee Extension, and offer this program in XYZ County, or I have a friend who's a teacher in this school or that, please visit with me over lunch. I'd love to visit with you, share our curriculum, share what we do, because we certainly want an opportunity to expand. Last thing I'll do real quickly is I brought door prizes, because I learned if you give people stuff, they tend to write nice things on the evaluation, FYI. So real quickly, raise your hand quickly. How many young people do we serve in Tennessee 4-H? Well, I was pointing here, but you got it, so that's okay. I'm going to come back to you. 186,000, so come see me when we're done. I've got a door prize for you. All right, next question. What county was featured in the video? And I'm going to give you a chance to answer first since you had your hand up. Gibson County, very good. For those of you that might have been in 4-H growing up, what are the 4-H's? You have to raise your hand and let me call on you. Come on, here we go. I heard you say head. Got it. All right, give her a round of applause. Thank you very much. These lightning talks are rough, staying under 15 minutes, but I appreciated my time with you. Thank you very much.